Now, you've had some good news from the Competition Commission of India. So the merger of Vistara with Air India is now happening. And I mean, there's no legal impediment as I understand it. Was that something which made you a bit nervous that is this going to happen, is it not going to happen? Because if it didn't come through, then your plans would have been affected.
Well, we're very pleased that it's come through. It's not the end of the process because in addition to India, we need to get competition clearance from a few other overseas jurisdictions. Right. We then need to go through the NCLT process to effect the legal merger. Mm-hmm. We're in the stage of about to transition to the second phase of that process in the next couple of weeks. And then we can then merge the two businesses. Now, whether we do merge the two businesses at that point, we will take a call later on. We've said that the future airline will probably be called Air India, mm-hmm. but we won't be merging Vistara and Air India until such time that we feel that Air India has reached the level that Vistara is. Yeah. With Vistara part of the family, there's a lot we can learn from, yeah. a lot that allows us to accelerate, but we want to, Air India and Vistara can remain separate from a brand and operations perspective until we feel the time is right to come together.
Would you necessarily want to merge them beyond a point? Because Vistara's identity is established. It's an outstanding carrier by any definition. And it's done so well, it's a new airline. So what is your thinking on that? I mean, it's one thing to merge the business, but in terms of the look or the name, can they potentially remain separate?
Oh, anything is possible, but I think part of the reason that Vistara has been successful is a very young airline. It was built on latest technology. It had new aircraft. And these are things that Air India will have in due course too. Right. So it's inevitable in my view, and we will not stop until Air India reaches at least Vistara's level. Yeah. At the same time, Air India carries the name Air India, yes. which is known and beloved around the world, yes. And has 91 years of history and heritage and recognition. So I think logically, internationally, Air India is by far the better name to have. Yeah. Product-wise, Air India should and will get to the level of Vistara in due course. Yeah.
There's of course Air Asia and Air India Express as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that experience in merging them? I was on an Air Asia flight recently. It had been partially painted over, and I presume it would be painted in Air India livery sooner than later. So it's a bit of a transition now. But it also means a transition involving thousands of personnel from both airlines. Could you tell us where that process stands?
So that process is a little bit further advanced because competition clearance was received last year. So since then we've merged the reservation systems, mm-hmm. merged the customer interfacing systems. It's come under a single CEO. There's now a single management team. So largely the two airlines are now operating as one. It's also a little bit easier because one was predominantly international, one was predominantly domestic, so highly complementary. The brand, yes, we need to relinquish the Air Asia brand in a couple of months. Air India Express will have a new brand, mm-hmm. and so there's this transitionary period until we can put the new livery on things. But it's progressing well, and I think you're now starting to see some of the benefits with the two airlines interlining and selling each other. A single website, you can buy a combined itinerary of both. And in fact, now you can start seeing the synergy with the parent as well, mm-hmm. that we're seeing itineraries being offered that include the full service Air India together with the low-cost side of the business.